Joe Douglas spoke to the media today at the NFL Combine. Here are my thoughts on what he said. This is JetCast. What's going on, everybody? As always, welcome to JetCast. I am Pat, and today is going to be a little bit of a different video. I'm not going to have it so scripted out. I'm going to kind of just talk about what I saw from that press conference and my feelings about it. I didn't expect him to actually talk today. I didn't realize it until I saw it on Twitter, so that's a little bit of a bad job by me. But some of the things that he spoke about really resonated, and the first one was with Mecole Hardman. Yesterday, a video released of Mecole Hardman talking about how he went from the Jets to the Chiefs, and there were allegations there that he could have tampered with the Chiefs in order to get himself out of New York. Now, one of the first questions that Joe Douglas was asked about was that report. And I think it's pretty clear that the Jets are going to ask the NFL to look into it. You can't have players going around talking with other teams and telling them, get me off this team, come get me. I don't like it here. That is clear definition of tampering. Now, Mecole has gone on Twitter and tried backtracking those comments, but the cat's out of the bag at this point. You can't go back on what you said. He's either lying in that interview or he's lying now. So which one is it? We don't know. The other comments that Joe Douglas, the other things Joe Douglas spoke about was AVT. He said he's really healthy, he's doing really good. And I expected that. He's young. He should be able to bounce back from an injury like this, especially with modern medicine. I mean, we saw Aaron Rodgers was able to almost come back in the same year from an Achilles. So I do expect AVT to come back healthy. He said that then, with his flexibility, they feel like they're in a really good spot with the offensive line. And I just don't see it. By letting go Laken Tomlinson, you now have 3 holes to fill on the offensive line, and I just don't see how they're going to be able to do it unless they really, break the bank in free agency to fill it up. Because you're only going to have one player, really, one top 10 pick coming from the draft that you're going to throw on that offensive line. At least we hope it's an offensive lineman. It better be. But at the end of the day, you have 3 holes there you need to fill because the only solid guys that you have are going to be Tittman and AVT. He also said that they don't want to move him around so much. They want to keep him in one spot, and I agree with that. I don't want to see AVT at the tackle spots. He's gotten hurt there the last 2 years in a row, and I just don't think I just think he's a better guard. And that's my opinion. I think he should stay at left guard. That's where he started from his rookie season, and I think he should stay there. He also said that they haven't made a decision yet on whether to pick up his 5th-year option. I made a video yesterday in which I explained on how they have to pick up his 5th-year option. I think the record was 6 wins and 16 losses when AVT is not in the lineup. Man, I'm trying to do this video in one take. Of course, my light goes out behind me. Anyway, the record that the Jets have when AVT is not in the lineup is 6-16. That's, like, in my last video I said, that's shocking, considering he's only a guard. So they have to pick up his 5th-year option from not only because he's a great player, but because they have to. There's no other bodies on the team that can play guard consistently than him. The other things that he spoke about was Bryce Huff. They're not planning on tagging him, and I think it's a bad idea. I mean, you could try to work out a contract with him. I think the franchise tag would end up being more than what a long-term deal would be, but he's an undrafted free agent. He's homegrown, and he's lights out when he's on the field. He comes in on 3rd downs late in the game, and he gets those big-time sacks. They have to figure out a way to keep Bryce Huff on the team, whether it's through a long-term deal or at the end of the day just franchise tag him. I don't know why Joe Douglas would say right now that they're not planning on franchise tagging him. I think that boxes them in to not having any flexibility during negotiations. And the last thing was Zach Wilson. Not really a huge news bombshell there, but Zach Wilson was given permission to seek a trade. I don't know who is going to want to take him on. His numbers are not only bad for the Jets, but they're one of the worst the NFL has ever seen. He's on the same status or the same level as Jamarcus Russell with his stats. And we all see Jamarcus Russell as a huge bust. So I don't see who is going to pick up Zach, pick up his contract, and give back the Jets really anything of value. Maybe a 6th, maybe a 7th, maybe a pick swap somewhere in the 5th. But that's all we're going to get for him. And it's a really bad devaluation of a player who was the 2nd overall pick. You can sit here today and say that that was a bad pick. You can sit here today and say we should have kept Sam Darnold, even though we had to pay Sam Darnold. But today, I would have rather had Sam Darnold the last few years than Zach Wilson. And that's not because I think Sam Darnold's a great quarterback. I just think he's better than Zach Wilson. And that's saying a lot. So I don't know what they're going to be able to get back in this trade, if they can even find a trade partner. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you like this style of video a little bit more, me just kind of talking to the camera, talking to you guys through the screen. If you like it, please give us a subscribe, and that's the best way you can help the channel. That's the best way you can help us grow. Thanks for watching.